All right, all right. We should be all set up here now. Y'all go ahead and join the room. I don't think we, I don't think we ever go live on Facebook. When we go live on Facebook, we going live on Facebook today because you just want this class to be up here, and I like how this display works with Facebook. I'm recording this from my own for YouTube as well. So this is just a new format we trying out, y'all. We gonna be teaching a class. This is gonna be saved. It don't matter. So I'm gonna be looking for comments. If I see comments, we gonna talk about it. If I don't see comments, it is what it is. Okay, but we about to get into a really deep lesson right here. All right, y'all. We about to go in on some deep stuff real quick, and I'm gonna go live on Instagram as well for the others. But get ready for this class, y'all. Get ready for this. This is really important. This is really deep. We're gonna be talking about the whys. Oh, hold on. Let's go live over here. Let's make sure everybody included. Oh yeah, this is gonna be good. So yes, I'll repeat a little bit of this for IG. This is a new format we trying out, y'all. We doing something different. We going live on Facebook. When do we ever go live on Facebook, y'all? I never see us go live on Facebook, but that's what we're gonna be doing today. And I'm saving this for myself. We just trying a new format over here. So if you guys go over Facebook, you'll see it's a whole different view than what you got here on IG. So here on IG, I'm just gonna have this up here so you guys don't miss the class. But yeah, this is gonna be great. We're gonna be talking about some dope stuff. This class was what I titled it. I said live class, soul sovereignty. Yes. So this is gonna be explaining the application of all this spiritual stuff we be coming across. All right. What's up, y'all? It's me. Yes, we over here at the house, me and the pup. We about to do a real dope class real quick. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and head over to Facebook if you want to get a different view. But I'm going to be putting it on YouTube anyway, so don't even worry. But let's get ready. Let's get ready to get into this class. Oh, yeah. Y'all missing the audio quality and all that, so y'all might as well go to Facebook. The link is in my bio. Just go to the Facebook. All right. So we about to get into this class, though. All right. So I hope y'all enjoying the music. Those of y'all who hear it, this is what we're gonna be talking about immediately. Yeah, I don't want this to be too distracting, so we're gonna pause the music for now. And so check this out. Our first point that we are going to be discussing is what is astrology. All right, let's go ahead and put a caption in here so people know what they're getting into over here. Okay, live class. How to use astrology. That's good enough. Boom. Let me just pin that right there. And we'll just put this up there for who wants it. All right. So first point that we're going to be hitting on right here, right, is, sorry, I'm such a tech nerd. Make sure everything is good. Everything is good over here. It's my first time using this. Hey, shout out to OBS. This system is awesome. I can't believe I never used it before as a gamer and everything, so it's crazy. But let's do it. What is astrology, y'all? And I'll be checking for comments here and there, so feel free to leave some questions. The thing about life is there's two different types of people that I've noticed. There's a type of person who, here, I'll let you guys see me for this one. There's a type of person, right, who wants to experience life for whatever the universe wants to give them. There's that group of people. There's the other group of people who want to make life into what they want it to be. So we have two different types of people here. We have a group of people who want to say, well, whatever, I don't care about any knowledge. I don't care about studying anything. I don't really care about mastering myself or anything like that. I just want to live my life and be free. That's great. That's your idea of freedom. Cool. There's another group of people who's like, all right, well, I want to learn as much as I can about this universe, about myself, about my craft, my practice, so I could do it better, so I could be better at it, so I could be a better me, so I can create the reality that I want, because I know I need to control myself for that. So there's these two types of people. Which category do you think you fall in? Which category would you put yourself in? And don't let my example here be a limiting belief in all possibilities. No, I'm just questioning, which one do you see yourself as? Someone who allows life just to happen to them, and usually this person will play the victim or focus on everybody else outside of themselves, versus the other person who wants to grow and who wants to become something to create the reality that they know they deserve, that they really want. And we don't understand how to do this. We think it's some esoteric, crazy practice, where it's actually a very simple science as to how this works and what makes us special as humans. Okay, what makes us special as humans in general? It's something called the frontal lobe. Yeah, I got a big one. The frontal lobe, okay? It's all correlated to master keys from ancient civilizations to what we have today. And for those who don't see the screen, I'll read it out loud. It says, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Nikola Tesla. All right, cool. Well, that sounds simple enough. I feel like everybody feels like they have a decent enough understanding of that to move forward. But how many of you know how to use that information? Actually. How many of you know what this is really about? If to think in terms of energy, frequency, vibration, like what does that mean? How does that look? How do you do that? Well, this is where astrology becomes very important. Astrology is explained to many people to be this mystical, magical practice where you can gain insight into the future. Peace, greetings. You can get insight into the future, or you can gain some insight into your past to see why you're in your present. So a lot of people see it in that magical way: horology, horoscope, hours, Horus, time, the sun. Some people see it in that manner. Other people see it as this pseudoscience. It's if you only believe in it, it's real type of vibe, right? Well, I want to propose different sides of reality to you, and I want to see what you think about it. Because we just heard, if you think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, you wouldn't be limited, not nearly as much as you are currently. And this is, if you are, and this is my question is, do you understand what energy really is and how it works? Do you understand what frequency is and how it really works? Do you understand what vibration is and how it really works? I sit around and I listen to all these scientists, and they're always talking about, these things about the quantum realm and quantum physics, and how you zoom into an atom, you find out that there's nothing really there. But what they do is they created something called quantum physics to explain the little particles that they see inside of this nothingness that are doing something, which is somethingness. So they're trying to figure that out. And they call them quarks, or help bosons. They call them all these different names, right? If you remove any tiny little piece of that somethingness from nothingness in that 99% empty atom, the whole thing would cease to exist. These are all different components that work cohesively as one thing. Okay? You work the same way with the universe. You are an intimate part of the universe, an infinity, and infinity wouldn't be possible without you, without how rare you are and how special you are. One of the first things that I want to point out that people don't really acknowledge is that there is no cookie cutter route. There is no simple way for you to learn how to advance other than mastering yourself and tapping into certain parts of yourself and having specific experiences for yourself. This is true. Hand in hand with that, you have to understand what makes you special as a human. You have something called consciousness. All right? A lot of people will describe this as a sense of self. Funny enough, they have, if you ever heard of them, they have something called Hermetic principles or universal principles. And I'll pull them up for y'all who are over here on the proper platform over on Facebook right now. We're going to put in, I'm going to pull these up real quick. Right? Look, boom, right there. So 7 Hermetic principles. There's actually 8. Okay, but we're going to talk about these 7 briefly. And not all 7. We're only going to talk about just this main one. The Hermetic principle of mentalism. And what are these principles? What is the point of these? These are just supposed to be universal laws. It requires all 7 of these things to create a reality, to create a universe to experience. So if you want to live, if you're one of those 2 people I described earlier as one of those people who wants to be in control of their reality rather than just be subject to their reality, this is something that I call chaos control. I used to watch Sonic. I used to love Sonic the Hedgehog. And it's so funny what happened when he got his hand on that emerald and they would say chaos control. They would like level up. And I thought that combination of words was very interesting. Very interesting. Because if we go into source code, we realize that the beginning would have to be everything all at once, which would be primordial chaos. And I love how they say chaos control because the control is always going to represent that masculine or that initial fire or that initial light, Aries. It's always going to represent that one energy where it would be control. It's cardinal, okay? So it's a conscious decision. And when you gain this consciousness with this chaos, you gain a new power. A lot of people call it a Kundalini process, okay? And we're going to revert right back to this one real quick, but I'm just going to type this one in for the people over here on Facebook, right? I'm just going to type in Kundalini, and look at what you get immediately, right? Translate to serpent power is thought to be an energy released within an individual using specific meditation techniques, represented symbolically as a serpent coiled at the base of the spine, which you then rise and cycle throughout the being. Very interesting. Very interesting how they have it here, because they clearly make it a biological by using the body related with something energetic and spiritual and non-seen, as well as acknowledging the system inside of the body, the organs and the lymph node system and the limbic systems and different things of that nature, to where they even do mudras and have their hands in certain ways to cultivate the energies that they know that they may not see, but they are definitely governing or being governed by. And I want to know if you know how to govern your energy, your serpent, your kundalini, your source of power. A lot of the women, you use this for sexual reasons. A lot of the men, you use this for the same things. You know, a lot of them are for fulfilling desires or whatever lower natures, assuming that you haven't raised that energy within your being yet, okay? If your birth certificate doesn't say your birth date, there's ways around that. So this is a side note, y'all, and this is for astrology lovers and those who do want to learn more about it, which is why we're all here, right? You can always book a reading with me. It's very easy. The link is in my bio. But if you don't have your exact birth time to get a very exact reading, it's okay. I can still do the reading. Actually, I'll use a variety of different methods to still see what's important and what's known. So it's all divine. If it's impossible for you to ever get your birth time, we're gonna work with what we got, because we can use 13th moon astrology. We can use a number of different things. I can look at the general tropical charts without the houses and still determine certain things from the cycles, seeing as I use Vedic, tropical, draconic, all at the same time. I use human design and gene keys and a number of different other things that we can go into. That time would really help, but we can figure some things out. Anyway, that was a great side note, and that was actually a great question. Don't give up. There's a ton of people with crazy scenarios in this world, and there's always a way to still tap into this, because some systems acknowledge that there is no time and space, and having the time and the date and the location is time and space. Those are two things that allow you to really pinpoint a space in infinity. So anyway, there are dimensions. We'll go into that in a minute. I want to go back to this point of the mind. And the first hermetic principle of the universe is the mind. Principle of mentalism. And I just love this one. And it's just so funny to me, because it's funny because it starts at 1. And the beginning starts at 0. And something begins at the point, so 0 point. And then the beginning of the mind is the first component of 3 different things, of energy, frequency, and vibration. That is 1. So it's so funny to me that 1 is actually 3 as well. And there's 13 people. That's funny, right? So as 1 is actually 3 at the same time. They're very similar in energy. However, 1 being the first thing, making it the first 3. Things always come in 3s. Just understand that. We're going to go into that. Actually, I'll show you guys a cool image real quick. And this is the last sidebar we'll take here. But it's a great setup, you know. So I type in Pink Floyd because I don't know what else to type in for this image, right? So I love this image. Tell me, who in here has seen this image before? Who in here has seen this image before? Do you know what this is? Not this one, this one. Okay. So what this image is literally 1, 2, and 3. So it's 3 things happening at once. You have a straight line of pure everything, all possibilities, everything, in the midst of nothingness, mind you. This is the first dimension, which would be a line, into the second dimension, which would create a shape, if you will, with angles. Now there's angles. This is the second dimension, right? And it's funny that the second dimension, 2, which is also Taurus, is really the earth body. It's really representative of the earth body and that physicality, that fixed earth energy, right there at number 2. After cardinal fire, number 1, Aries. And then you get what? 3, Gemini, mutable energy. This image is an image of the 3 different modalities that energy takes to exist, to create reality at one time. That is called, very simply, energy, frequency, and vibration. They all exist at once. And to prove it to you, I am going to recreate the universe on an image. I'm going to use a little drawing here, and I'm going to recreate the universe, okay? Very easily. I'm going to do it in front of you so you can see how easy it is to create the universe using codes. Very easy. So 3, that rainbow, that spectrum, this is the reality we experience. Okay, this is the array of 7 different lights, the 7 different chakras. These are the emotions that you must master, that they go through in the avatar. You understand? These are 7 deadly sins you must overcome. This number is symbolic of your gateway back through to this white light, back to the source. And to understand that you truly are this, seemingly separate, the journey is back to the source from this place. Source is journeying to separate itself through a prism, through something, through some type of 2D object. Energy can join a certain frequency and it can experience a vibration. It is very simple how this works. And you'll see this code repeated over and over and over and over again as we move forward. Sevens, ones, threes, all these different things, they mean things specifically, right? Okay. So, what is astrology? Universal laws, the mind. We know astrology now, correspondence as above, so below, so within, so without, heaven and the earth. We know macrocosm and microcosm, what's happening on the grandest scale of you is the same thing happening on the smallest scale of you, vice versa. Okay? That being understood, looking at universal laws and how this is the one thing that we always talk about in all civilizations, the one thing we always agree upon in all of our symbols. If you ever have the time to check it out, there's a book called The Teachings of All Things. I believe it's by Manly P. Hall, Freemason, and he basically has a book documenting all of the symbols, esoteric symbols you can find, and he explains to you what they could mean. Now, me knowing what they all really mean, being able to see, right? Knowing these codes, seeing through the matrix, I'm the guy who's sitting on a computer who can see the codes, the lines, and know what reality is coming from that. Or he can change that and mess with that code and change the reality around. But I'm also Neo in the matrix at the same time. So we got to learn how to program within the program. So here's this word program. This word program comes up a lot. And I think about the mind. I think about the mind. Subconscious programming, reprogram the mind. We all want to reprogram the mind. We all talk about reprogramming this, reprogram that. We got to reprogram our subconscious mind. Or we're saying we have been programmed to think a certain way. We're victims because we've been programmed to think this way or programmed to think that way. Program is a set of related measures or activities with a particular long-term aim. A series of coded software instructions to control the operations of a computer or a machine, to provide coded instructions for the automatic performance of a task, arrange according to a plan or a schedule. So a program is basically saying what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. Nothing has happened yet. It doesn't even saying that the things that it's going to happen to is even present yet. It's saying that this is the code. This is what's going to happen. This is that thought energy. I don't want to go too deep into the source code today. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go too deep into the source code today because it might cause people to really just miss the impactful points here. Consciousness and subconsciousness are the two pieces that we acknowledge of our minds that create who we are in our reality. Now, there's two things that you can have from this consciousness and subconsciousness. You can have a harmonic relationship or a disharmonic relationship, meaning that your subconscious mind, which plays out as your habits, right? The subconscious mind Yep. The subconscious mind, which plays out as your habits, it's based off of your fears. It's programmed from fears, beliefs, desires, memories. And these type of things, can be traumas, or they can be very good memories. And we create associations. That's how the brain works. We create associations. And what you're going to notice is that the subconscious mind, it's not saying yes, it's not saying no, it's not listening to you or you listening to it exactly in the moment. What the subconscious mind is doing is what all it has become, everything it has absorbed, everything that it has experienced, everything that it believes, if you will. The ruling thing of the subconscious mind is that it's based off of fears, beliefs, desires, and memories. So that means that this is your realm of beliefs, your belief systems. This is your subconscious mind. It creates your habits. It creates the reality that you live in. It's 99%, it's 95% of your reality. The 5% of your reality is the version of you that's experiencing it. And this is what makes you special as a being here on this plane. You have something known as a frontal lobe. You have the ability to imagine. You have the ability to create in a way. You have the ability to change your mind in a very special way. This is called the conscious mind. The conscious mind is what tells things what to do. You can have a subconscious program and be conscious enough and be like, you know what? I don't like this. I want this. And you can begin to change that code consciously. So yet again, we're getting to a point to where the more knowledge we get, the more excuses we have to let go of. Right? The subconscious mind is programmed. It does not, it's like a tape recorder. It's just knowing what it knows, experiencing what it experiences, including your beliefs. If you believe something happened to you a certain way, it gets coded into your subconscious mind that way. If you believe something happened to you in a good way, it's going to get coded in a good way. So it's about perception, and perception is a combination of conscious and subconscious. The conscious mind that you want to have isn't just whatever beliefs and whatever thoughts and whatever reality. And this is the complacent general person. This is not the person who wants to evolve. This is not the person who wants to master themselves and master reality. Okay, that's just a person who's here, doing what's here, not really caring, allowing themselves to be in effect. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's people like that in this world. Majority. There's another large group of people where they choose to understand this reality. And what this does is this makes you live from more of a conscious state of mind to where you know about the subconscious mind, you know about your behaviors and beliefs, you're understanding, you're tapping into how you feel, you're considering your memories, you're being introspective, and all of the sudden, you want to change your habits. All of a sudden, you want to change who you are, how you live, what you become in order to receive what's for you. A lot of people want to receive things in this life, but not everybody wants to receive what's for them. I want to get religious real quick, and I'm going to ask y'all, So I want to bring up this aspect where Jesus was talking about, I want to know who knows about this story where it was the price of following the Christ. I think this was Jesus. The cost of following the Christ. Yeah, I think bro had to give up like everything. Jesus saw a crowd around him, and he gave orders to go over to the other side. And the scribe came up to him. Teacher, if I follow you, where you go? And Jesus said to him, foxes have holes, birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. Another of the disciples, did you hear that? Should I say that again? Hold on, let me know if you missed that. I'll say that again if you missed that, for those in the back who missed that. When Jesus saw a crowd around him, he gave orders to go over to the other side. Change our perspective. And the scribe came up and said to him, Teacher, if I follow you wherever you go. And Jesus said to him, foxes have holes. Foxes have holes. Birds of the air have nests. All right? So these dogs, the dogs and the ground animals, they sleep, they live here. They live on the ground. The birds, they live in the air, but they got their nests in the air. They live up there in the air. But the Son of Man, where does the dog sleeping right there? The bird sleeping right there. Where the man rest at? Where does man rest at? Well, it says clearly right here that the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. That means the Son of Man lives nowhere. They lay their head nowhere. When you go to sleep, where do you go? Nowhere. And in the space of nowhere, you get everything, because the reward of following the Christ, and it was to gain eternal life. Eternal life, right? What is eternal life? Did anybody really know what this stuff is saying to you? It's not quantum physics. It's not just astrology. It's not just a history book. This is a book with the mechanics of the mind and the energy and the journey of the soul and how to take it. How to take it. Not what it is, who it was, how it was, when it was, why it was. It's literally the journey of the soul and how to properly take it. It correlates with the sun. It correlates with genetics. Okay? It correlates with patterns of consciousness and cycles of history, correct? However, what it's really trying to tell you is how your mind works, and how to be Jesus, and how to be one with God, and how to manifest and create whatever reality you want, how to be multidimensional for real. Because a lot of y'all, you think that you're living in all these different dimensions, but the truth is, if you haven't even decalcified your pineal gland yet, could you truly say that you're even living in the sixth chakra, the sixth dimension? Are you even seeing with the sixth sense, of the sixth perspective, at that way of measuring and observing this universe? Okay? So we just made that very clearly understood right there. The Bible is telling us how the mind works. The Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. He's not saying ain't no place like that. Like, oh no, where's he going to sleep? He's not saying that. When you go to sleep, you don't go to sleep in a nest. You don't go to sleep on the earth. You don't go to sleep in the air. You go to sleep nowhere. And in that space of nowhere, you can create anything. We'll go into black matter and white light, which is this realm, versus white matter and black light. We'll go into that later, but I want to make the conscious mind and the subconscious mind understood here. The version of the combination of the two you want is called Christ consciousness. All right? Why are we using astrology? And why are we talking about Christ consciousness now? Well, if your pineal gland isn't completely decalcified yet, let's pull up some pictures of that. Right? Let's see what this actually looks like. Right? So here's the pineal gland. You could tell it's this same thing. This is what this is. All right? Very special thing here. I'm going to also type in the sixth. So that's the pineal gland, right? Let's type in sixth sense. What is a sixth sense? That's a movie, right? Of course. What is having a sixth sense? If you say someone has a sixth sense, you mean that they seem to have a natural ability to know about things before other people, or to know things that other people do not know. So, examples of a sixth sense. Okay, so we all know what a sixth sense is, to where it's that feeling. It's your spidey senses. It's my spidey senses are tingling. That's the sixth sense. It's your ability to tap into the field. Okay, that's what the sixth sense is. That's what the pineal gland does. The pineal gland vibrates, right? I'm going to pull up a calcified pineal gland up here. So the pineal gland vibrates. It's like a DMT crystal. It vibrates very, very, very fast. And whatever frequency is vibrating on pretty much is determining the reality that you're living in. This is your frequency tuner. This is like your radio antenna, if you will, okay? That's what the pineal gland's doing. It's how you travel in your astral body. So if you have not even decalcified this space yet, then you should definitely be interested in talking about healing and cleaning out all of your chakras and all of your energies, because you haven't started a spiritual journey yet. Two things, another thing that I want to acknowledge is that when you're in this Christ conscious space, this is one of the main differences in this perspective, is that you don't need to manifest anything anymore. When you get into a Christ conscious space, you realize how the universe works to where you don't need to manifest things. All you got to do is change yourself and work on yourself. So you start to evolve. When you choose to evolve, you drop the word manifest because you now have chosen to become something. Pull up images here. Like, yeah, see, like this is the whole thing. Calcified pineal glands are no good. This is no good. This is tapped out of the field. This is disconnected. Like, look at what they're telling you it is. They're telling you what it is. They're showing you all the images. They're showing you all the symbols, all the hieroglyphs. They're showing you all the connections, the birds, the astral body. You see what I'm saying? Is here. And we don't care about our astral body anymore. Jesus was all about the astral body. The astral body is a version of you that's beyond space and time. When you go to sleep, when you close your eyes and you meditate, anytime you're not using 5 senses, you're always going to use your other senses. So you ever heard of the blind people who they lose their ability to see, but they increase their sense of smell or touch or hearing? Same thing. You turn your senses off, you tap in to something known as your ESP or extrasensory perception. This is your 6th sense. All right. This is also encompassed as your astral body, and it's used and governed by the pineal gland, seeing as the frequency of the pineal gland determines what reality that you're basically experiencing. If it's not vibrating at a harmonic frequency, what do you expect the reality to be? Disharmonic, chaos. But if you have control, chaos control, you got control of your pineal gland, your gem, the emerald, the chaos emerald, you got control of that in one of the other spectrums of light from your chakra system. You're cleaning yourself out and you're gaining control of yourself through this chakra system ascension, through this kundalini ascension process. That's what it's all about. It's about not skipping steps. It's about healing through each step, each level, through the code. You're not just jumping to healed. And if you are, that's great. And you can just check through the system very fast. However, if there's a blockage in any point, you're not done. If there's a blockage at any point, it's affecting the rest. Your astral body is being operated by your pineal gland. That's the command center of that. So when you close your eyes and you meditate, when you go to sleep and you dream, depending on your mastery of your pineal gland is your astral body, the decalcification levels are definitely going to matter. If you haven't had a lucid dream, if you can't become lucid in a dream, if you're not learning, if you don't know how to use your body when you sleep, like, you got to understand, how much time do you spend to sleep? How much time do you spend in that body? And don't tell me it's irrelevant or it don't matter, because how many times do you go to sleep and wake up tired again? How many times do you just want to get some really good rest? You know, a lot of people have a hard time resting, and when they finally start to get rest, things start to get better. Like, what is that about? Okay, well, this is another version of you that you really need to learn how to tap into. You have 3 parts and 3 components: the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and then what I like to call the Christ conscious mind, which is what we're going to talk about. Of course we do. That was easy. All right, boom. So the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, understanding the code, the intention, the purpose. Okay, remember, this is like that Aries energy. This is that fire. This is that light, that one energy. This is what gives us direction. This is the code. This is the instruction. This is before a body. This is before an experience. This is just what it's going to be, the program. And we want to reprogram the mind. But we know the subconscious mind, right? The subconscious mind is all of our habits, our beliefs, our fears, everything that's not showing up right here. While our conscious mind is exactly right here and is making the sense of what is around in the moment. So the bridge of the two is perception. Okay? What are we talking about when we're reprogramming the mind? Well, we're choosing to stop looking at things in the way that we've been told to look at them, the way that we've been beaten into looking at them. We fear things, so we look at things through our fears. through whatever traumas, whatever it is you're going through, to where now you may be dodging opportunities or sabotaging areas of your life by lowering your own frequency, by operating from a space and a belief that is low frequency, and then creating a reality ultimately stuck at that plateau or at that level. We want to break these levels. We want to break these plateaus. There's only a couple ways to do that, because we're not doing this to get things. We're not doing this to have money. We're not doing this to have houses. When you do this, what you do is you find peace. You find a certain state of mind. You find a connection with the divine. You find healing. You find something else, something called love, self-love. And a lot of us say that we love ourselves, but a lot of us aren't even connected to our astral bodies or decalcify our own pineal glands. You have 3 existences: your body, your animal form. The body is an animal in a sense. Then there's you, who's piloting this animal. And then there's also you, who's connected to the divine. If you don't believe me, go to sleep or have a dream or meditate or close your eyes for a while. What's going to happen? What are you going to experience? An astral experience. You're going to create a whole nother reality in an infinite space and infinite time with matter that's there, but it's not really there, but it's everywhere all at once. And it's whatever you want it to be based off of your level of focus, your level of concentration. Because the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. So you got to know where you're going to go. They call that the narrow path. This is purpose. So decalcifying the pineal gland is probably like one of the most important things for you to do, because you're not even able to govern 1/3 of your entire reality, which is affecting the other 2/3. Not about just going to sleep on time or getting enough rest, and not just about getting the right amount of sunlight in order to have the right hormonal function for the animal aspect of you, your body, so it can vibrate on a frequency that you're trying to vibrate on. You're only going to be able to vibrate on the frequency effectively if you're doing so physically, mentally, mentally and emotionally. Only then will you experience it astrally, which is where it becomes a world and it becomes an actual reality for you. That's going to take up space and time. Everything that takes up space and time, those are all of your experiences. Those are 3, 6, 9, 12s. The seen but unseen. It's there, but it's not there because it's the whole thing. This source code really makes life so simple. But there's so many veils to get rid of and so many programs to let go of that are having us doing things we don't want to do. All right, so I'm going to recreate an entire universe real quick, just because I feel like it's important. But real quick, before I do that, I'm actually going to show this clip to everybody. If you guys aren't on Facebook, you should be watching this on Facebook. I'm about to go put a clip over there. I'm not over there. It's on this computer. Y'all check this out. Crazy clip right here.
The frontal lobe is the crowning achievement of the human brain. Frontal lobe. This frontal lobe allows us a distinguishedness to change our minds.
Through the workings of the nervous system and the particular way that it implements quantum effects. Very distinct, specific way, not general, not fuzzy, not imprecise. That it absolutely does open the door for free will being a possibility that does not violate modern scientific tenets, and that's consistent to a certain extent with people's subjective impression that we do have free will.
What separates us from all other species is
Listen up.
the ratio of our frontal lobe to the rest of the brain.
The ratio of our frontal lobe.
That's responsible for firm intention, for decision making,
Intention.
behavior, for inspiration. It is the seat of what causes us to take information from our environment and process it and store it in our brain to make decisions or choices that are different than the decisions and choices that we've made in the past. The brain is made up of tiny nerve cells called neurons. These neurons have tiny branches that reach out and connect to other neurons to form a neural net. Each place where they connect is integrated into a thought or a memory. builds up all its concepts by the law of associative memory. For example, ideas,
Memories,
thoughts, and
beliefs.
feelings are all
So
constructed.
we just switched from talking about the conscious mind with my man Joe. Joe was talking about the conscious mind with intention and focus. All right? The frontal lobe, what makes us special, our ability to make decisions. We have, that is your ability right there to code. All right? That is telling you you're not just experiencing this reality. You're also coding this reality, because one of the grandest evolutions of humanity, of not humanity, of the world, of what everything on this world, one of the crown jewels is the frontal lobe of the human brain. This is the thing that makes you different from every other animal. You're able to think and program this reality to what you want it to be. Are you kidding me? You can program this reality to what you want it to be. But now, when we zoom into the brain, right, and you look at the neurons and how the energy's working, this is what we start to learn. We start to learn that it's bridges, habits. It's quite animalistic. It's quite primal. It's really simple. The more you do something and create patterns, the better the connection, the more easy it is for electricity to fire to these parts of the brain for it to understand something. And for you to keep it, you have to connect it to parts of yourself. You have to do this either repetitively, you have to understand this and go into this, or it has to be ingrained through some traumatic system of belief that has forced it onto you. It doesn't even have to be traumatic, but some form of belief, even love. So many beliefs are connected to love, to where people consciously get trapped from love, because whatever their beliefs of it are get triggered by a person or something a person does, and what happens is they start living in that world again and creating from that world again and create their same outcome. That's deep.
Stored in our brain to make decisions or choices that are different than the decisions and choices that
So-
we made in the past.
So the frontal lobe, according to Joe Dispenza, is responsible for changing.
It is the seat of what causes us to take information from our environment and process it and store it in our brain to make decisions or choices that are different than the decisions and choices that we've made in the past.
I like how you worded that, Joe. So basically, it allows you to take all the collected information that you have in order to choose what kind of outcome that you want. That is the ability of the frontal lobe. You get to create reality. You get to program reality consciously. This is the masculine aspect. The feminine aspect is the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is just doing whatever it's received. It's reflecting that. It's reflecting whatever is believed. It's going off of not what it wants. It's not making a decision. You know how they always say, just you as a guy, you just got to make a decision. And the girl's like, I don't know where I want to go. And they're just open to all these different things, and it's chaotic. And the man's like firm and like this. Well, these simple principles are going to play out all the time, because it's 1, 2, and 3. There's positive, there's negative, and then there's the balance aspect. Positive energy, positive charge, electricity, L1, is always going to be masculine energy, conscious mind. The feminine energy is subconscious mind, negative, and it's receiving information. It's going with what it got, in a sense. It's not there necessarily making a decision. So women are generally ruled by what is known as their intuition, whereas men are ruled by pattern recognition or code. Men like to know what's going on, whereas women like to dream and want to experience what could happen. And this is nothing wrong with that, but there's the feminine and the masculine aspect. When you put them together, you get us. You get conscious creators. You get people who can take from everything and everything that they've experienced and all their beliefs and dreams and create something consciously and put that code back into something else. And we can start coding our reality from our beliefs and from what we do with that. And what we do with that is based on what we believe. So to do this with intention is ascension process. To do this without intention is a descension process where you're just going to learn from a bunch of things you don't need to do. Until you learn what you need to do and you do that, will you ever begin to truly evolve in life? When you choose to evolve in life, you're not going to be worried about what you can manifest. You're going to be worried about what you need to become, what you need to do, how you can change your mind.
The brain is made up of tiny nerve cells called neurons. These neurons have tiny branches that reach out and connect to other
The brain is made of neurons.
to form a neural net. Each place where they connect is integrated into a thought
So neurons exist in the stomach, the heart, and the brain.
or a memory. Now, the
They store memories
brain builds up all
and our
these
beliefs,
concepts by the law of association.
concepts,
For example, ideas, thoughts, and
ideas,
feelings
feelings,
are all constructed and interconnected in this neural
and they
net.
get weaved together in our neural net called our brain.
The concept and the feeling of love, for instance, is stored in this vast neural net.
What the brain does is it relates things to other things.
Ideas. Some people have love connected to disappointment. When
So
they
this
think
is
about
why you
love,
go through a lot of
they
patterns,
experience
or you have certain habits. Certain habits you might not want to have, certain habits you might want to create.
hurt.
The reason why you have to do them over and over and over again is because you have to create the neural recognition within the brain for the neurons to be able to help you do it too. As long as it's new and foreign, it's always going to be weird. It's always going to be something you do for a day and just stop. Even there's a story of the seeds and the soil, and how it sprouts and grows or doesn't grow. That's the story of neurons as well.
In its environment
in
and
the
what it
Bible.
remembers, because the same specific neural nets are then firing. We know physiologically that nerve cells that fire together wire together. If you practice something over and over again, those nerve cells
Yep.
have a long-term relationship.
So if you practice something over and over and over again, the nerves start to create a long-term relationship. The less you do it, the more the relationship starts to separate, and you start building relationships with different things in your reality. So this is why they say that you can't just drop habits, or you can't just try to pick up habits. You have to replace them and interchange them, because you will be having to sacrifice one connection for another. You just have to realize what's healthy for you, what's best for you. Well, out of infinite possibilities, how the heck can we do that, Soular? How can we figure out what is the best thing for me then? I know I need to reprogram my mind. I know I want to reprogram my subconscious mind. I don't like how this person thinks or those people think. I'm too unique. I'm too different. I stand out too much. Well, the thing is, you just got to know who you are. No one needs to know who you are but you. Okay, this is working just fine. Just checking on that. So no one's going to be you for you. No one's going to do you but you. So what I want you to do, each individual, if you won't take the time to understand source code, I want you to understand this. That if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. The only thing that we are asking for this in this universe is confirmation and validation nowadays that we do the right thing or the wrong thing. And even if we're getting confirmation of doing the wrong thing, is it because we want to do the wrong thing? Even then, it's what you want. So you might as well understand how this reality works, whether you're going to be a victim to it or you want to be a master of it. And if you want to find the secrets of the universe, in order to have that key, you must think in energy, frequency, and vibration. This makes everything simple. It opens up all the other doors. The ego is the conscious mind. Energy, focus, knowing things, thought in itself, the code, pattern recognition, actual awareness to know something, aka cardinal energy, to be able to make a decision. Then you have what I like to call the Christ conscious mind, because this is the direction. We want the conscious mind and the subconscious mind to be working together, not against each other. So I'm calling it the Christ conscious mind, the conscious and the subconscious together, intent into the universe, being aware of your subconscious mind, being aware of what you're giving it, being aware of what's already there, consciously changing how these networks are working for you in all dimensions. whether you want to look at it through neurons in the brain or whether you want to look at it through spiritual habits, or how it looks in this realm or how it looks in that realm. I don't care. You're multidimensional. We're going to explain that later. But for right now, what I need you to do is I need you to make a decision. Am I going to be a cause, or am I going to be an effect in my reality? Because if I'm just going to be an effect, well, nothing really matters. If I'm going to be a cause, well, everything is very important that I give my energy to, and I must become very intentful. This balanced place where you reside, man, or the Christ, which is the combination of conscious and subconscious, we are the God ego. Not just the ego, which is our life, our body, which is alive, but in our awareness of this body, but the awareness of who we are, our identity as well, that ego, and knowing who we are, and being who we're choosing to be. This is another big thing where people fall off, is that with the ego, we have somebody who we are and somebody that we protect. But is it this person who we've chosen to be? Who do you choose to be? Right? There's this guy. And let's just see. And there's this guy. There's these guys. You know what I mean? Like, you can choose. One of them is pain and suffering and low vibrational, and the other one is like thriving in life. It's a blue shift or a red shift. It's one of the two. Now, you can make a choice. I'm going to tell you right now that the one that's focused and concentrated and choosing control over chaos, that is your Buddha, that is your Christ, that is your enlightened one, that is where your abundance is, that is where everything that's for you, when they say like everything that's for you, that's where everything that's for you is at. Just because there's things that are out there for you and it's meant to be for you, don't mean that you're going to always get it, because you may not be being who you're supposed to be. You might be trying to be somebody else or something else. You might not know who you are. You might be living out a program that hasn't been rewritten yet. You might be being what you were told to be, or who you were told you could be. If that don't mess with you, I don't know what will. Hold on, you mean to tell me my whole life I've been being what I've been told I can be, even though I thought it was what I wanted? It's all I had, so it's all I thought? Until you tap into source, until you decalcify your pineal gland, and until you start to raise through your kundalini and naturally, organically tap into other dimensions. And what that means is just to be able to see life from these different perspectives, these 12 different perspectives. Will you ever truly begin to even talk about mastery? And everybody is a student and a teacher. So no one has to be perfect in order to teach this. Everybody needs to be in their own process because of how they're going to teach it. They're going to teach it through their arts, through their crafts. They're going to teach it through however they like to do it. Okay, some people understand it like codes, like me. And some people really relish off of this and really appreciate this. And they beg me to do this. And I'm here. I'm happy to do it. Okay? But where you have this balanced realm, the program, right, where you live, what you're dealing with, what you're doing, this is what you become. This has everything to do with your mastery. Okay? Knowing your program, writing your own program, choosing what you're going to master, choosing what you're going to become, choosing what you want to create. This is fixed energy. This is also your ability to be and to flow with the universe. Comes from your program. Your inability to do that also comes from the program. See, because the program is the bridge. If you don't have the program right, which is the 7th chakra, then you won't be able to access the rainbow bridge back to source. If you know, you know. So you must be in control of your frequency. Fixed energy is also the same as frequency. This has everything to do with your purpose. This is the Taurus. This is the one. This is the Leo. This is the Aquarius. These are the ones that they know what they want to do. They know who they are. They know their facts, and they know how they feel. The World card, right? or the Wheel of Fortune, right? Very deep stuff. Those things right there, those are the four fixed energies in the elements. So, excuse myself, the four fixed energies in their elements. And what you're gonna notice is that this is who you really are, which is why you're always gonna see the World card and the Tarot card. If you ever see those cards, I mean the what is it called, the Wheel card, Wheel of Fortune card, you're gonna always notice that there's a person in the middle of these four corners. These are the four winds. These four things pop up all the time, and you're not gonna stop seeing them. You're just gonna need to start understanding them and why they're there. I wonder how many people look at a tarot card and not know what this is. Like, if you think I'm crazy, look at this. All right. That is Aquarius. That is Taurus. It's a Leo right there. It's funny, it's a sun card, which is also Leo. That eagle represents Scorpio. And these are the four fixed signs. It's funny that the sun is right there. We're going to be talking about the sun briefly as well. And the Wheel of Fortune, the same thing, Aquarius, Scorpio, Leo, and Taurus. So these are the numbers 2, 5, 8, and 11. 2, 5, 8, and 11 are all of the frequency or the program realm. So these are all the programs. These are the divine programs. Okay? Those things have everything to do with frequencies and tapping into being a bridge for the divine into a physical form. Okay? Next up, you have subconscious mind, which is no ego. This is not the ego from before of who, just an identity in itself. And it's not like the God ego, which is where you're choosing who you want to be. You have sovereignty over your ego. You know who you are. You chose who you are. You're experiencing and you're just being and you're flowing infinitely. But now, there's no ego. No ego in the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is nobody. Remember, the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. Nowhere. The subconscious mind is no ego. Sleep is the cousin of death, if you ever hear that. This is the realm of vibration and experience. So these are your habits. This is always what's being done. And since all things are possible and all things can be done, you got to realize that this isn't the place where you necessarily live. The subconscious mind can have things like beliefs and shadows of the past that may not even been how you remember them to be. You can lie to yourself and create all kind of realities with this. And you got to be careful, because you can definitely put yourself in your own delusional world, and it can have you living out from this space and doing things you don't want to do because it's connected to your habits. It's your subconscious mind. It can have you being very rude, very mean. It's based off of your experiences, because it is your experiences. It's how you feel. It's the field. It's the unseen. Everything that's unseen, all the vibes, the vibration. And that is what the manual is for, because you should be in control of how you feel. You should be in control of what you're experiencing. If you can control how you feel easier, you can control your habits easier. They work together. You got to balance these scales, guys. You can't just be so conscious and so into the code and so into the facts to the point to where you're not allowing yourself to also not exist and be nobody at the same time, and just also appreciate life for what it is, because that's how you tap into your intuition. There's things with tarot, right? The way I look at it, I look at astrology, right? Astrology, this is the code to me. This is very easily for me to see that this is the code. This is the conscious mind. This is the masculine aspect. This is what it is. This is telling me what my program is. This is the program. If you don't know what you should be doing, this is what's going to tell you what you should be doing. What is your purpose? What is the best thing for you? What is your Christ conscious path? What is your path of purpose? Not what are all the million things you could do. What is it that you should do? What is aligned for you? How can you, what is it that I need to be doing to be aligned with infinity? A lot of people just want to do infinity, but what do I have to do to be aligned with infinity, to connect to source, to vibrate at my highest? Well, I can only see that through your specific natal chart, because these are the energies of the universe. Your specific natal chart is telling you what uniqueness of the universe you are. So there's a code to that. And we can see that easily here. This isn't a map of the stars. This is a map of the energies of this realm of the universe. This is a universe map. This is an energy map. This is the dimensional map. This is a map telling you of the 12 dimensions and how you exist in them, where you exist in them, what you're doing in them, how mastered you may or may not be in them. Tarot, on the other hand, to me is more like the weather report. This is like, okay, this is who I am. This is the source of who I am and all this stuff. But this is different ways that it could be playing out. This is how it could start to look when the code starts to take form, right? What tarot is, things like that, it's spirit or astral energy basically speaking through another medium or another device, like a card or numbers or a clock or any type of sign or symbol you get from the divine. It can come at any space and time. And cards, tarot cards, are always going to be unique for you, like a mini birth, like when you were born and you had your special unique natal chart. Well, there's no mistakes in tarot. If you got a card, how you got it, when you got it, good energy, bad energy, however you look at it, that's what it is, like ultimately. And it's up to you still to perceive it a specific type of way. So you got a body. It don't mean you automatically gonna treat it well. You got a program. It don't mean you automatically care to know yourself or to live by your own personal program. Instead, you may have rather found comfort in living in other people's programs. You might have found comfort in that. But I want to recreate this universe real quick. And I want you to see the importance and how deeply astrology really connects into this. Yeah, so this is a map of space-time creation, long story short. And this actually goes very deep. This is the reason why you want to use astrology. Because we know we have to program our subconscious mind since it's already been programmed. If you like how you are, you like the way that you're programmed now, you like all the belief systems you have, you feel like you have no growth, no evolution to make, I did. But if anybody thinks they have a little tiny bit of evolution that they want to tap into, I want you to take a deeper look into this, what I'm about to show you. Okay? So what I'm about to show you right here is pretty dope. We're just going to listen to some music in the back right here, right? Y'all can't hear it, but everybody on Facebook, y'all can hear it. It's pretty cool over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to explain this piece by piece. And I'm going to show you different examples of it. All right. So in the beginning, we're going to go through source code real quick. I'll turn the camera so y'all can see this. Okay. Oh, hold on. My fault. All right. There you go. Okay. So I'm going to recreate the universe real quick. But I'm going to do it the right way. I want you to understand that in the very beginning, it was 0.1. All right. Why is this so important? This is the beginning. This is the real beginning, okay? What I say was the beginning? I said 0. Zero. So we know 0 is, right? 0 is nothing. Right? So it's this empty circle. It's this empty circle, this big empty circle. That's a 0. but I want to make another one. What happens if we make another one in here? But this one, instead of being nothing, because it's inside of nothing, we're going to make it everything. So everything that was in this nothing is now the everything. Wow. So it wasn't 0 to 1. It's not just straight up 1. In the very beginning, it was 0 point. Oh, it's nothing and then all possibilities. Interesting. That's your first one. Wow. This is your first one. Now, if you don't believe me, what is this symbol right here? What is this symbol right here? What symbol am I talking about? I'm talking about this symbol right here. What is this? I just made this one. Right there. Boom. Oh, what symbol is that? This is 1, right? Does that look familiar? Of course it does. Of course it looks familiar. If this is 1, well, what's 1 in astrology? 1 in astrology. 1 in astrology is what? What the fuck is this? Internet. Aries. 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 All right. So that's what that area is right there. 1. 0.1. And because it exists multidimensionally at one time, I'm going to go ahead. Oh, oops. Go ahead and finish this one off real quick. Actually, we'll leave it like that. We'll leave it like that. Just the 1, because that's just Aries. So next, well, first off, I want you to see one more thing. What is the symbol for the sun? Oh, wow. Would you look at that? Somebody gonna look at this. Look at this. Somebody gonna look at this. This is the symbol for the sun. Interesting. And this is number 1. This is Aries. 0.1. So 0.1. 1 is always energy. Okay? 1 always represents energy. 2 always represents frequency. 3 always represents vibration. So this is how you're going to see that. The moment that 1 existed, 2 also existed. Because it's 0 point, this was 0 point. That's the sun. But the first thing from 0 point would have to be 1. There's nothing before that. So it's 1. So 0.1. This is the beginning story. Always know that everything is 0 point. Everything is living from its perspective. But 1 is where things begin. This is Aries. This is the conscious mind. All right. So this is the next thing we're going to do. We're going to create 2. Right? We're going to create 2. All right. This is frequency. Now, why is this frequency? Because now there's different points that this oneness can experience. Almost like a grid. Like, you know how a grid got them little lines on it? You know, like that. This is a frequency. You can go this way, you can go that way. It's like an option to split. This is known as what I just showed you in tarot. This is the world card. 2 is the fixed energies. Oops. What's on up? 2, 5, 8, and 11 are the fixed energies, okay? So peep this, peep this. So we got cardinal. You got fixed You got mutable. In that order. Why? Why in that order? Because you have first cardinal sign is Aries. Second cardinal sign is Cancer. Third one is Libra. And the fourth one is Capricorn. So, which is another one. Basically, a one again. Fixed ones, you got 2, 5, 8, and 11. Those are all your split realms. And actually for the 5, actually it's funny that 2 and 5 are the same thing, but inverse. They mean the same thing. So mutable is always going to be 3, 6, 9, and 12. All right. So this is one of the biggest things y'all need to understand. Boom, we're going to put that here. So in the beginning was 0, nothing, and something, right? 147, 258, 369. Well, the moment that 1 existed, 2 immediately became possible. If you can go this way, well, then that means you could have gone that way. If you could go this way, you could have gone that way. This is where you get 2, 5, 8, and 11. Those are all portals. Those are all options. Those are the two sides of the coins. A portal requires two sides of a coin. That is, because something exists, the opposite has to exist. Fixed energy has made a decision to exist somewhere. You cannot exist on two frequencies at the same time. So that is what fixed energy represents. We are living in the fixed realm. The realms we live in are in 3, 6, 9, and 12. 3 by 2 is 6. So that's Virgo. That is the earth realm. That is actually the ruler of the earth planet, Virgo. Funny enough. So let's continue this image. The moment you made 1D, 2D immediately became possible, and you can exist anywhere within this infinite possibilities. You can exist somewhere within it now. 3 is always going to be what? 1 is always going to represent energy. 2 will always represent frequency. 3 will always represent, vibration. All right. This is what I press for that? That's crazy. Sorry, I'm using a Mexican keyboard, so I'm figuring something out. Oh, that's crazy. Not worry about what's true, just speaking truth. That's for infinity. Oh, that's crazy. So that's what that button does. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. So anyway. So those are unseen realms. And this is the realm of creation. Okay. All right. Okay. So cool. So what you're seeing here, where's the 3? So we see energy, we see the frequency through the grid lines. All right. We see where this point can also reside within this space. But we're missing something here. Well, the vibration is always going to look like this. And let me see this brush. I'm going to show you this like this. I'm going to use an airbrush. Make sure the size is big enough. And this is the vibration, guys. This whole thing. It's always the unseen. So it's literally all throughout here. This is vibrating. This is existing. Okay? That's vibration. Do you understand? The point in the middle is technically the one. The lines that created the angles were the twos. And the field around it, generated from it, that is unseen, that is the unseen. It's invisible. It's unseen in this realm, but it can only be felt. That is the vibration. That is the experience. Fun fact. You're not experiencing the third dimension. You're experiencing the sixth dimension. You're experiencing your perception of the third dimension. Your cells are living on the third dimension. The perception of your cells is the third dimension. Okay? You are living on the sixth dimension. Your astral body is living in the ninth dimension. And when you weave them all together, that is when you are in the 12th dimension. The 12th dimension is the beginning and the end. It's just another three. But it's the complete three. It's the aspect that is coming from wholeness. While the lower three is the aspect that's coming from as if it was a brand new beginning. It's a lower aspect of the same thing. 6 and 9 are just directions. 9, the astral body trying to come to you, trying to talk to you, give you messages. Whereas 6 is you should be trying to go to it. That is where the 6 and the 9 meet. 3 and 12, them also the same things too. So it's a 3D world or the 12D world. You live and perceive in the 3D world from the 6th dimension. 5 senses plus the 6th sense if you have a decalcified pineal gland. In the astral realm, it's quite the opposite. You're coming from all possibilities, trying to become something unique. A dream. All things exist in this realm, and that is known as black matter and white matter. And maybe we can teach that right now. We might be able to teach a little bit of black matter, white matter right now. This is what you need to understand, that this image is in motion. All three of these things exist simultaneously. Not one of them exists without each other. So the first thing, fully functioning, fully experiencing reality, is composed of 1, 2, and 3 at the same time. This is who you are. Okay, I made another diagram. Let me see this other one. Yeah, existence and non-existence. So I should explain it like that. And this was a very funny one I did. And I was explaining, actually, I might do that right now. Red shift and blue shift. Just to explain different, more principles to it. So let's do it. So let's grab another airbrush, right? And I'm going to grab different colors. We're going to go with red for cardinal. Because we want this to be conscious. Yeah, we'll make this one then. And we're going to make fixed energy purple. And we're going to make mutable energy blue. All right. Now, why is this important? These colors are very important. The blue, 3, 6, 9, and 12, right? They exist all over. However, they exist at their highest height up here. Whereas the red, the cardinal, 1, 4, 7, and 10, the code, the masculine energy, it exists on a more finite realm. So it's not necessarily doing the same thing. What's the best way I can explain this to you? I got a good image. Yeah, matter and then light. Yeah, so let's do it like that. So this is a composition of matter and light. And if you want to see some examples real quick, different frequencies of this same thing is going to start looking like this. The rays are just to represent vibration. Okay, all these rays, all they do is represent different frequencies. Okay, they're all the same thing, they're all correct. They're all the same exact model. But the point is that they're representing different frequencies. So what you're seeing there is something like this, right? You're seeing something like this. Right? And I like modeling it like this. You're seeing something like this, where all I'm doing is I'm just crossing the vertexes and I'm making a little image from it. Right? Boom, just touching angles. You can always get divine images from doing stuff like that. Angles, lines, perfect geometry. So now this should be looking a little more familiar. It should be looking way more familiar at this point. And let me do a little experiment. Let me try another one. No, I don't necessarily need to do it like this, but I can. Yeah, I can. Wow. We can start making some more stuff. This is just to show the field, and I'm just doing this to show that there is motion indeed going on here. This is dope. Oh, wow. And this is obviously how they created the model of the atom, right? It's not to represent, in quantum physics, this model of the atom is not meant to represent what it actually looked like. It's meant to represent what it's doing. This is astrology. This is energy, frequency, and vibration. Okay? Starting to look familiar? This is the sun. Remember? And this is what it looks like here where I live. This is how they depict it here where I live. And see, notice how it's a circle within a circle, the point in the middle, and 4 components, creating a pocket of another 4. And this is that's very deep, very, very deep. It's doing the same thing. I can just invert them. And what you'll see, should I invert them? I'm not going to invert them right now. But we'll do another experiment right here. I want you to watch this. Look at this. Let's do another brush. And we're going to do black. And we're going to make some numbers. Let's see how familiar this looks. 12. 6. I wonder how familiar that looks. 12, 6, 3, and 9. Okay. This is the same thing as a clock. Clocks are designed to tell you about space and time. They're supposed to help you control where you are in space by helping you dictate time, therefore playing with your subconscious mind, allowing you to consciously program a reality for you to experience in a day. Waking up with an alarm clock to go to work. These types of things. It's deep. So, I want you to understand that astrology, quantum physics, time, energies, all these different esoteric things they're correlated in a way to where it's not about belief. This is the science of energy. Numbers are the closest things that we can get other than symbols. And the numbers themselves are the freaking symbols. This is 0.1. 2, making the angle. 2. What is 2? 2. Right? 2. 2. What is this? What is this? Two. Oh, what is this? Another 2. So why am I showing you this? 2. This is, let's do one more. Hey, this represents infinite possibilities, right? Very clearly. As you can see, all of these things are possible as all of these things are possible. These routes in both directions. This is a split. Notice it's one loop in one area, another loop in another area. Then you have another split, 2 pillars. Then you have another split. This is the same thing as this and this. Now what 2, 5, 8, and 11? What do we know about those numbers, guys? We'll look at that. The world card. Taurus, number 2. Leo, number 5. Scorpio, number 8. Aquarius, number 11. 2, 5, 8, and 11. Okay? Why is that important? Well, let's look at the Wheel of Fortune. Leo, 5. Scorpio, 8. Aquarius, 11. Taurus, 2. Wow. Even the Sun card, that happens to be the Sun card with a child on a journey. Why a child? So you see, fixed energies, 2, 5, 8, and 11. That's these realms right here. These are the 4 corners. You see them? Let me draw them for you. 2, 5, 8, 11. Now notice that those live within a dome. Each of them. 2, 5, 8, 11, as well as 3, 6, 9, and 12. They exist within, they exist without and within the structure without that core center point, 0.1. You are not living on the first dimension, okay? And you're not living on the third dimension. The third dimension is composed of what? The line. You see the line? Let me make it clear to you. This line right here. This is the 1, 4, 7. Boom. And you know what we're going to do it? We're going to do it in another color. We're going to do it in another color. We're going to do it in we're going to do it in red because that's what it is, right? So boom. So now you see that is the cardinal aspect. 1, 4, 7, and 10. This is the physical aspect of it. It's the lines. Okay, it's the ticks in between. It's all of that. It's the code. Okay, it's all the code. Next up, for the fixed energies, 2, 5, 8. A little purple. Oh, no. We want this red. And we're going to make, how do I want to do this one? I guess, I don't know if I can recolor it. Let me see if I can recolor this. Because this one's going to be blue. Yeah, boom, it worked. All right, so that's your mutable energy and that's your cardinal energy. That is everything that is seen and everything that is unseen. Everything in between is just operating off of those two, blending from them and flowing with and without each other. So let's go ahead and get the fixed energy in here. The fixed energy is going to be done like this. Y'all going to be very surprised by this one. It's the 4 corners. You feel me? So boom, 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 boom. And you're going to see another set of 4 right there. So we just recreated an entire universe. We recreated an entire atom. Recreated the astrology wheel. Explained tarot through the wheel. Recreated a clock and why clocks work the way they work. Explained why astrology does what it does, how it works the way it works. Explained what Tesla's talking about as far as what? If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of what? Energy, frequency, and vibration. Okay? This is very important stuff for many different reasons. These purple corners, all of this is to cohesively your experience. You're experiencing all of these realms. Okay? I'm going to type it out one more time right here. All right. And we're going to do your 3D. You're going to make it black. Your 3D body is the animal you. Your cells. So we put cells. Right? The animal you. Your cells live in the 3D realm, guys. You don't live in the 3D realm. Your cells live in the 3D realm, okay? You want to know what the 3D realm looks like? That's what your cells are experiencing. They're conscious, just like you. But they don't experience the realms that you experience. They're in the 3D. You, however, my dear, with your crown, your brow chakra, your pineal gland, your key, you live in the 6D. Not the 5D, not the 4D, no. You live in the 6th dimension. Well, at least you should. This is why we were talking about the pineal gland before, the brow chakra. The 6D is what can be known as the self. And we're going to spell it with a C for the sake of the alignments. Self, right? This is your mind and it's your emotions. So this is really your realm of perception. Of this realm. All right, well, what's the 90? Very simple. This is celestial. Who's ever heard of celestial? This is your astral body. And I'm actually going to go here as far as to let you know that this is the mind. Okay, and the 12D, we're gonna go into something deeper. I had a conversation with somebody about this. They said, well, it's all the mind. No, the sixth dimension is the mind. Only people with the frontal lobe active are consciously thinking. Conscious is what we were talking about before as far as how the brain works. Okay, they're conscious. That's the mind. The 90 is the astral. That's beyond the mind. 12D, you could say it's a component of it, right? But no, these are all components of this last part right here known as God body. Excuse me, God body. And this is the soul. This is the completion. This is the complete full cipher 360 degrees. All the way around, all the way through. Okay? That's why we go all the way to the 12D. After that, it cycles. Notice 3, 6, 9, and 12. This is your full cycle. We started from within and we moved our way out using the same principles. I didn't go and design anything specific. All I did was coordinate 3 different components into one image, and it created our multi-layered reality in 12 dimensions. If you can't understand this by switching your perception in an instant to all different dimensions, well, this is the next best thing that we can do. Until you're able to master yourself enough, until you're able to consciously experience different dimensions, experience what your cells are experiencing. Okay? You go down from 60, down from that, you go into your senses in order to connect to your body and what your body's feeling. You move downwards from the 60. You move upwards to connect to God, to connect to the God body. You move towards your celestial self. This is an ascension process back to oneness. If you want to feel yourself in different ways, split yourself apart and descend and go into the body. This is why we went red and blue, because the blue shift is to ascend, to expand, okay? To accept the unseen sides. The unseen sides is nothing more than what? Like, come on, let's do one more little grid right here. This is an easy grid right here too, right? Solid, liquid, gas. Easy. Right? Well, what we know about solid, right? We know solid, which we're going to correlate with 1. Liquid to correlate with 2. Gas, we're going to correlate with 3. If I was going to make a 4, I would call it plasma. Okay, and we'll do that just for shits and giggles in a sense. But I actually think it's actually very dope for me to put in here. So boom. I'm going to do it like that. It makes it a little bit bigger. I never really did this before, guys, but I really like how it looks. So I'm going to keep running it like this. All right. So for solid, realms, you're going to get this red. Well, solid realms, we're going to go like this. I'm just going to show you in a more creative way, right? And I want to get some jams going again. All right, here. All right, boom. Okay. And so this is how we're going to display this, right? So solids, I'm going to show like this, right? This is the 3D realm, right? We know liquids, right? Liquids be a little bit different, don't they? Liquids be a little mix of the two, don't they? It starts using a little bit more structure, right? Well, by the time you get to the gas, This thing a whole. It's dispersing, right? And this is what you call. Excuse me. Let me make this one real quick for you. This is frequency raising and lowering. So when you have the frequency lowering, you'll find things condensing more into a solid state. It's closer together, it's slower, it seems like it's one thing. But when it moves super fast and it spreads apart and it raises in frequency, it takes on more of a gas form. So gas is also unseen to us, unless there's different things and chemical reactions that is affecting things that we can see. Gas, however, is atoms that are so spread apart to where it's not as visible. But all that means is that it's vibrating really, really fast. If you slowed it down, it would do what? Condensate. It would turn into a liquid. And then from the liquid, if you slowed it down even more, it would solidify, right? I just want to show you what plasma is real quick. So plasma would be a black line with the spray on it. It had the spray on it and the line. So it's going from solid straight to gas, which is also the principle of Pisces. Okay, so Pisces is very much a plasma type of thing, as well as 6, which is the body, which is 666, the blood. You know, you live in the 6th dimension. So that's another thing to heavily be understood here. So this image actually went way deeper than I expected it to, because I didn't even do it like that before. I was going to explain something else completely. But this right here is like a million times better. Holy shit. All right. And so what I want you guys to understand is that is no different than this. Minimize it for you real quick. How big of a difference do y'all see there? You got all 12 signs, all 12 points. You see, but instead of splitting these into 3s, I marked their different positions. I can mark them into 3s briefly if you want me to. This is all I got to do. Match up the vertexes. That's all you got to do. All you got to do is match the vertexes. You see that? You see, when you do astrology, it's a lot of math involved. They're constantly using vertexes, points of conversion. That's all I'm doing. You see? I'm marking between the cardinal values and the the modalities is what they're called. Observe. And we have just recreated astrology. Now, please tell me if you see the beautiful cross in the middle. Look at that. This is gorgeous. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and get a nice spray paint here so you can see it a little bit more clear. I'm going to use the airbrush again. We're going to keep it big, and we're going to go... I like this. This is pretty. I'm going to go with a pink. This is very beautiful. This is just very gorgeous. Look at your 369 realms, y'all. And it's funny I'm using pink because this is the symbol for the Rosicrucian. Very interesting symbols here. All we are doing is breaking down the universe and how it works. That's it. Nothing crazy. You see, but this image is in motion. This image is cycling. What about the areas I didn't color in? That's funny. It's just looking like this is the Umbrella Corporation. This is Umbrella. Look, I want to see how many places we can find this. Look at this. So this is what we initially created it to be, right? We initially created this, but look at this. What if we make this? Umbrella Corpse, right? I just want to see. Look at that. Ain't that crazy? Y'all know what that's from? Wow. So I guess now we know what that could possibly stand for, correct? Control of the subconscious and conscious mind, the powers, people who choose to be a cause versus an effect, government. Government. Is there any government of anything other than the mind and the soul? This is why we teach sovereignty in all dimensions. Let me see. I want to see something else. I want to look at Knights Templar because, oh, look at that. Familiar. These people, this is the crusade. This was genocide. Oh, all I would have to do is make that from pink to red. And we'd get the Knights Templar, those who killed in the name of Christ. But who understood what this was really about? And the cross. Let us not mistake the cross on the shield. The crest. For the fun fact, let's go look at my my family crest. Ah, look, this isn't even in my. This is in mine. It's a blue shift. I got a blue shifted crest. Look at that. Y'all should look up if you got slave names. Look up your slave name. I bet you it's a crest connected to it. I looked deeper into it. I found a lot of very interesting characters. But y'all look into these symbols. Like, do you see what I'm talking about? I'm not crazy. I'm not some lunatic in here drawing pictures, nigga. We've been doing this shit since forever. Look at this. How long have we been doing this? We've always been doing this type of stuff. Should I go back further? Oh, whoa, what do we got here? Did we just make this from a blank slate of nothingness? Did we just create the entire reality just by acknowledging principles of the universe? And this is the best way to describe an atom, but maybe we can see why they've used this Newtonian aspect. Maybe they weren't trying to explain this is what an atom looks like. Maybe they're just trying to say these are the components of it. But they're not using numbers. And electrons is just the charge to it, which makes it create a different type of atom, which makes it react with this reality differently. It's just its frequency. Atoms are the closest things to plasma that we're going to get. They're the God particles. They're the God body. They're the God bodiest thing that there is. The superposition particle that's everywhere and nowhere at the same time, that changes instantly when you change, that's called the Christ. That is the fourth level of solid, liquid, gas. Well, how about plasma? It's the heavens above, the liquids above and below. Plasma is where things become instantly manifest. Instantly manifest. Where else can you do that other than in your dream state? That is the realm where matter is no longer black matter. Matter is now white matter because it doesn't really exist. It's the new womb. But what now weighs on everything in that other side isn't white matter. Now it's black light. It's going to be the thought. Black thought. That is all possible thoughts that can be possibly thought of inside of matter that doesn't exist at all, which allows any reality to be perceived. And this is the 12th dimension. The 6th dimension is black matter. Black matter with white light shining down upon you, where your black light is shining up into the stars, and the stars are pulling from you and creating in an infinite space, beyond space and time. It's called a celestial space. It's celestial. celestial. The same way your cells affect you is the same way that you affect the universe and you affect God. But God and you are inseparable, if only you knew that. When you go to sleep, you become God. But when you wake up, you become the devil again. When you wake up, you start doing devilish things again. It's like you forget everything, but when you go to sleep, you are everything. You don't got to think about it. You are it. You're never going to die. You're only going to create realities that may be unfavorable to you based off of your ability to master yourself and program or reprogram your subconscious mind. Don't worry about what other people's lives look like right now. If you're worried about what other people's lives are looked at right now, you're in danger. This is a time for you to be mastering yourself because everybody's reality and what's for them looks completely different. But the codes are the same. That's the Newtonian model of what I just explained, right? Well, here's the sun. Here's the same thing, just with different frequencies. So instead of these circles, they described them in different ways because it's the same thing vibrating at different frequencies. So different worlds, they're all correct. They're all correct. All of them. They're explaining energy, frequency, and vibration simultaneously existing. You'll always see the cross here. This is the Son of Man, where it has nowhere to go to sleep, nowhere to lay his head. That's where everything sleeps, nowhere. That's where everything exists, nowhere. That's what this is. Oh, that's not convincing enough? The sun? Well, how about water? Fire ain't enough? How about water? This is water. Water at what? How many notes are there that exist? 12 notes. 12 dimensions. 12 notes. These are different notes in which you can exist, and different octaves exist of those notes. This is what frequency is. If you pick something outside of these notes or outside of this dissonance in between, or you try to tweak it, it's not going to be a 369 number. It's not complete. It's not cipher. It's going to be dissonant. Where's another place we've seen this? Here's sand. Here's earth. So sun, light does it. Fire does it. Water does it. Sand does it. What do you think air is? Spirit. You think spirit don't have shape? Crystals take shape. These are crystals. 3240 hertz. 3835 hertz. 4444 hertz. And it just goes on forever and ever and ever. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. Right? I want to look up one more thing. Let's go back. Let's go back into the ancient days, since we talk about ancient civilizations all the time. Let's see the Dogon. Let's type in Dogon codes. We're going to look for Indinka codes. What you think that is? What you think that is? What you think this is, y'all? You think I'm just some goofy guy who found the Paint app on his freaking computer? No, dude. These are called Indinka codes. These are some of the most original codes that we have found from the most original people who somehow are connected to the cosmos in ways that we can't even figure out now. But they say they got it from the dolphins. They got it from the water. They got it from this. Only you guys knew how to traverse dimensions. You would realize that without as many distractions as we have today, this kind of thing would be normal. Talking to other beings that are indeed here, vibrating at different frequencies. That's what dogs and cats do. That's why they bark and woof and stuff at you, things you can't hear or see. Same principle. Do those images look anything familiar like what we've been talking about? These things are not hard to make, because this is what happens when you do things correct. When things are done correctly, they're beautiful. How many notes are on a piano? 12. And then the octaves just change. But guess what? You have different bodies. Look at these different octaves. You have 12 dimensions. You exist in 4 of these as a body. However, you exist in all 12 dimensions, but you experience 4 of them. Okay? If you don't believe me, you exist in all dimensions. You exist in the first dimension, second dimension, third dimension, fourth dimension, fifth dimension, all the way to 12. But you're experiencing the third dimension through your cells. You're experiencing the sixth dimension through your senses. You're experiencing the ninth dimension through your extrasensory perception, your astral body. You're experiencing the 12th dimension by the cohesion of your astral body, your mental body, and your physical body being in alignment with what you have coded into chaos control, 1 and 2, 12, which is 3. This is knowledge. This is knowledge. This is 360-degree vision. This is how you see everything for what it really is. Then you ain't gonna be asking stupid questions like, what shape is the earth? Who was in the beginning? You're gonna be looking at dates and laughing. You're gonna be looking at people running around with crystals talking about spirituality a little bit differently. Because you're gonna be like, but do you understand source code though? Do you even know how they made astrology? Do you even know why these things have existed through every civilization that we can trace? They talk about and use the same things, the same symbols, and the same glyphs. All languages are created from this code. If it's not a number, it's a glyph. It's a symbol, and the symbol is a glyph of the number, and it's usually a line or a dot. How much simpler can you make it? How much simpler can you translate the universe? Even if you was to have something speak to you in your dreams, it would be simpler for it to show you a symbol or to invoke a feeling, which is how it's driven. So next thing is to learn how to use the astral body and how to properly dream and how to do things past a healed pineal gland. But first, y'all need to decalcify your pineal glands and heal your bodies to the proper frequencies by becoming more alkaline, helping your blood culture become more alkaline, drinking more juices, hydrating properly for your cells, taking care of your cells as much as you take care of your mind, as much as you take care of your astral body, which is your dream space, your connection to the divine. All of this collectively creates your godly existence or the lack thereof. I don't know if there's any questions, but that's pretty much what I wanted to show you. Go through these slides real quick. You know, the chakras is just the same symbol of all of you, 1 through 7. Why was 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9. And look at that, a 12 chakra system chart. 12, the divine gateway. 11, galactic chakra. 10, universal chakra. And I feel that because Capricorn is the universal construct, whereas Aquarius is the universal consciousness, whereas Pisces is a universal creativity, which is divine gateway, which is all possibilities, the infinite waters anew. So those are the final 3 in the God body abilities. So I love that. But why was 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9. This is when you exit the body and connect with the divine. This is when you start to pilot the astral body. The astral body energy is composed of 7 energy. So why was 6 afraid of 7? 7, 8, 9. You require a certain level of balance in order to even acknowledge the divine. You have to literally have a decalcified pineal gland and a healthy frequency in your body, matching your astral body for your mind to be the bridge, your pineal gland to synchronize with you and your purpose, which is Christ consciousness. This video is going to go crazy, y'all. You got all the emotions, all the blockages, and then the 7 deadly sins to go with it. So the program, you want to reprogram the mind. Reprogram the subconscious mind is you're going to want to set a particular long-term aim, which means living in purpose, which is why you would have to look at your natal chart so you can see how you uniquely exist in this reality. That's the point of this. This is what astrology is. I didn't even go into the elements. We didn't even talk about the elements. It's 3 elements in each section. Excuse me, 4. Yeah, this is great. Yeah, this is the one. The line, each line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's beautiful. 1, 4, 7, 10. Yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead and write this out. Do it in red too. 1, 4, 7, 10. All right. Now these 1, 4, 7, and 10. If you don't know what 1, 4, 7, and 10 are, those are bridges. Okay, they're not like the fixed where they're more like portals. You know, cardinal dog. Cardinal energies are more like bridges, like connection to energy, the actual energy of that world. So 1, 4, 7, and 10, which is why, you know, the connection to your senses is going to be in 4. That's in a heart space. Whereas, you know, for the cells, it's 1. It's in pure electricity in itself. Electricity into the heart space, you know, into the crown chakra, which is the space around you. So it's your cells, you, and the space around you is 7, 8, 9 into the astral body. Once you're into the astral body, then it extends into the entire universe, which goes into 10, which is your next bridge, into 11, which is the frequency and position in that energetic world, and then 12, which is your experience there. So you have a lot to do and a lot to master here, and I don't think that all these other distractions are doing you any good. Oh, just ended. Perfect. So it ended on Instagram, which is fine, but we're doing really good over here on Facebook, and this video is being saved. So although we could keep going in on it, we're going to go ahead and cut it right here. 2 hours, that was not bad at all. Not bad at all. And this is up here for the record, y'all. Glad we did this. We're going to go ahead and cut it over here. And yeah, so it's real easy. I'm going to show y'all one more thing real quick. So this is how easy it is to like book a reading with me. I want y'all to see it. You can just go to my page, literally. Go straight to the top of it. Go straight to my bio. Click on the link in my bio. You can get to all my information from here. But click on Level Up. When you click on Level Up, you're going to be taken to a website. This is my website. You can literally click book here. You can go to different areas here and get these different charts. I don't know why it looks like that, but you can go ahead and we're going to do AI, Web3, crypto, business building, essential astrology readings, and personal mentorships. All of this stuff is very helpful. All this stuff is very useful. And this is all I have time for. This is all I care for, essentially, either. So very easy to contact me. You can actually email me here as well if you're needed to. And obviously, we're not limited to payment methods. If you must, you can always connect to my Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube easily from anywhere in my links. So y'all, thank you for coming by. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. We're going to go ahead and save this. Peace. Perfect. It ended with the song perfectly too.